Hey there, breakfast clubbers. Good morning. This morning we are drinking coffee in my basement and talking about Hellboy Volume 1, Seed of Destruction. All right, good morning, everyone. We hope you're having a really great week. I have been looking forward to reviewing something from Hellboy for a long time. I don't know what has taken me so long to finally do it. So, Seed of Destruction is like the book to pick up if you're about to get started in the Hellboy comics. If you liked either of the versions of the movies, the first ones that were a little campier or the like really graphic, serious remake that they did. If you liked either one of those, you're going to love the comics. Personally, I think they're way better than anything the movies came up with just because, they're books. They've got more room to tell the story. This volume is by Mike Mignola and John Byrne. Mike Mignola he has his fingerprints all over everything to do with Hellboy, the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense, Abe Sapien, all of those characters, but he works with a lot of other really talented people. And if you buy the trade paperbacks, you get commentary on what it was like working with other artists whose names you might recognize, even if you haven't read Mike Mignola before. But getting into the story, so the comics are different from the movies in the sense that by the time you see anything from Hellboy, really, he's established, he's calmed down. He's a very measured character, right? He's almost wise. And most of the stories that he's been telling to this point in single issues and stuff before you get into the meaty stories like this are like X-Files type, Freak of the Week style mysteries. So in Seed of Destruction, Hellboy, Abe Sapien, Liz Sherman, and a couple of other folks from the BPRD think they're showing up to investigate a regular haunting in a house next to a lake that is supposedly cursed. And then Rasputin shows up. Yes, that Rasputin. As some of you may know if you're familiar with the franchise at all, even a little bit, Hellboy was brought forward into the world out of hell. That's where he got his name. By Rasputin when Rasputin teamed up with the Nazis in World War II, those Nazis. So Hellboy is just investigating some weird frog monsters, and then suddenly Rasputin confronts him and is like, you need to fulfill your destiny, and starts talking to him about all these crazy named, like, 7 creatures of the heavens. Like, it gets really heavy, really fast. And then he threatens to hurt some people Hellboy cares about. It actually doesn't go as poorly for Rasputin as you would expect, considering how strong Hellboy is. And it's a pretty suspenseful situation. Also, it sets up a lot of background information, how Hellboy got here, his relationship with Trevor Broomholm, who has passed away by this point in the franchise already, but they catch you up on it. This is an excellent starting point, even if you don't know anything about Hellboy. But also, if you already know a bunch of Hellboy stuff but haven't read the comics yet, it's going to hold your attention. It's really great. The art, Mignolia's art is just so compelling to me. He's always using limited color palettes, which you're probably sick of me going on and on about how much I love a muted color palette. But especially for Hellboy, since the subject matter is usually pretty dark, it's funny that Hellboy is supposed to be, probably a demon or something. He came from hell, but he's usually one of the sources of light in the panels. It's the situation is dark, and Hellboy, he's not white and innocent in any sort of color symbolism, but he usually is still the brightest point on the page. And that does a lot to carry the theme and moods through. Also, it's stark, and there's a lot of contrast and hard edges, and I love it. This is one of my favorite art styles. I bought an entire volume of like other DC stories just because Mike Mignola had been involved in them, because of how much I love the style and like the narration and art that go together in the Hellboy trade paperbacks. Thematically, one of the things going on is a sort of what's in a name sort of question. Hellboy says early on when he's introducing himself to someone in this volume, "You can call me Hellboy. If I ever had a true name, I never knew what it was." And it turns out later that what his name was in hell is actually really important and has a lot of power both over him and from within him. And as he discovers his identity throughout this entire series of trade paperbacks, what's in a name is one of the questions they address. And the way we get to choose what we're called by and the way we identify ourselves and the way we ask other people to attach certain feelings and associations to our name in the way that we expect people to address us. So that's a big part of it. Also, there are some monster fights and incredible action in here too. Hellboy is a great franchise. It's pretty PG-13, not for like little kids, but it's not overly graphic just for shock value the way you might expect from a title called Hellboy. I really love it. I can't recommend it enough. Hellboy. I have a bunch of them over on my bookshelves. And hey, while I have you here, what do you think about my awesome PSC shirt? Phoenix Sisters Cosplay has a Redbubble store. If you go to redbubble.com and search Phoenix Sisters, we have the hottest logo merch. That is an intentional pun on the fact that there are flames in our logo. You've seen the sticker before. I'm wearing the shirt now. One of the ways that we are able to pay for our cosplay is from viewers of our content getting involved and finding different ways to send us a few shekels, for the work that we do. So if you like our logo, think it's cool, want a sticker, want a shirt, want a mug, something like that, go to redbubble.com and search for Phoenix Sisters. Or if you want to contribute to more stuff that's directly related to the Back Issue Breakfast Club and comic reviews like this, you should definitely go to buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod and donate generously there. I hope you all have a wonderful week and a great morning. We love you. This is Crayle, part of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, and the Back Issue Breakfast Club is a Back of the Cereal Box piece of content.